keeping it going in quarter three.
A lot of music is dropping, son. There's a lot of heavy hitters that's dropping, and end of September we is getting some joints. You feel me?
And I think I'm ready to cook the boy because he should have dropped multiple times already. I think he should have dropped August 25th.
You talking about Drizzy?
Yes. For All the Dogs should have came out August 25th, the day before National Dog Day. He drops the cover on the Monday of that week, which is usually what an artist will do.
Let's talk about that.
On Friday.
The fans was speculating that the shit was going to drop for the past 7 weeks now. You understand?
A couple months.
Niggas was saying that dog day, oh, he's going to drop on the dog. If he would have did that, that would have been a nice marketing ploy. You understand?
And it would have been a semi-surprise drop because he didn't put a date to it. But as soon as he dropped the cover, and he didn't have a date with it, I knew, oh, this guy's not going to come for a little bit. I think he's just doing this to tease us and hold us over, build the hype a little bit. I think we're now getting to a point where people have been waiting for the album for so long that when it comes out, it has to be a really, really great album. Because if it's not, it's at risk of also coming and going, I think. Just because the expectation is really high for it now, if he doesn't reach that expectation, it's not going to look so great.
I think he whether he could take forever, niggas is still gonna love him. Nigga painted his nails and niggas still love him.
Everybody will still listen to it. Everybody will still listen to it, but when it comes to streaming now, the fact that people will keep listening to your album within that weekly cycle is the main point. Like Uzi was gonna do 250 based off the projections of how many people listened to his album.
Okay.
But it wasn't good, so it dropped down like almost 100,000. Because it didn't have replay value or people didn't enjoy it.
I don't think Drizzy has that same problem. That nigga is loved by everybody and hated by.
I think he's at the point now where he has to make a statement. He definitely has to sell more than Travis first week, which is at least 400,000. His real competition, I think, as everybody thinks, is maybe along the likes of Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny, who do really well first week.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll be able to topple Taylor, partly because Drake doesn't usually do the vinyl bundle package thing to sell first week numbers. But his music should be good enough to the point where it's at least getting close. I don't know. On the album so far, there are rumors, but I think they're pretty much confirmed because he's talked about it while he's been on tour.
So when we think this shit is coming out? In the wintertime or
I have a theory actually about that, but I just wanted to lay out some. Nicki, I think, is definitely going to be on the album. Mm-hmm. Bad Bunny, I think, is definitely going to be on the album because he takes out Bad Bunny and he says, me and Benito haven't done a song in about 5 years or 6 years, which was Mia from a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So I think it kind of shows that he's going to go a little bit more pop. He's going to bring in bigger artists and maybe
You think that he's going to be pop, bro? I think it's going to be R&B. That nigga about to drop in and kill everything.
I think we're way past the point, you want a full R&B album from Drake and I want a full rap album from Drake, and I think we're past the point to where we're never going to see that ever again.
R&B, yes, it's possible.
I don't think so.
Them leaks that you sent me, nigga, them shits is heavily R&B. Them shits will go straight to the R&B playlist.
Yes, but I don't know if those will ever see the light of day. Those leaks, I don't know if they'll ever get an official release.
Yo, on some real shit, I was on Reddit and I saw another shit was like they was playing it in the club somewhere.
Exactly, and in that song he's talking about I should be locked up with Young Thug in them. Like
it was a quick snippet. That shit was less than 5 seconds.
He's like, for All the Dogs, he's talking about, I'm trying to go back to the old Drake, which I assumed would be R&B Drake. But from some of the leaks and some of the snippets that have been coming out, he's kind of doing a lot of rapping, some of the Lil Yachty, like old Playboi Carti type beats. I think it's just going to be a mix of everything. I don't think we're ever going to get that solid concept album from Drake, and I think it's just because he's too commercial for it at this point. But, I think the album will have high expectations. It's up to him to meet him. And if he doesn't, then we will be here to clown him for it.
I think he's going to meet it. You kind of hard on him. Maybe
I'm a little bitter because he keeps pushing back the date because he's saying that I haven't announced the date, but I think he has had dates in mind, but he's kept pushing them back. I mean, we've talked about this since July of this year. He's on tour. He's saying the album will come in 2 weeks. Then he's saying, I'm sorry, it'll come really soon. Then he's saying it's a summer album, and now the summer's over.
Yo, did you hear that? Noah 40, he got fucking like he was going through something like his sickness is acting up, so maybe he wanted to hold it off so a man could mix the whole project.
It could be a part of the reason, and he needs.
Hopefully, he's all right.
He needs 40's touch on the album to make it a Drake album. I think I'll go into my theory now. My theory for All the Dogs and when it's going to come out. Drake's tour, I believe, is scheduled to end on October 9th, which is a Monday. That very Friday in October is Friday the 13th. Drake has never dropped an album in October in his life.
Really?
He's talking about he's going back to the old Drake. It would make sense to drop in October.
If you
want a perfect date to go with all that like what he's talking about on Meltdown, where he's acting like he's a thug or a goon, and he's got shooters, and he's with the Wassas or whatever the fuck
he does.
I think if you really want to go for that kind of scary hours vibe, you go for a Friday the 13th drop date. And if he doesn't drop then I think it's back to my other point I also made at the end of last pod. I think he's ducking Kanye West, because Kanye West is rumored to be dropping really soon. And there's a lot of snippets and music that's been coming out of his camp.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was ducking Uzi to give him, to let Uzi shine. He was ducking Travis because he was scared of what those numbers would do. Okay. And now he's put himself into a corner where he's still working on the album. But now you're going to have competition from Kanye. You're going to have competition from Diddy. You're going to have competition from a bunch of other albums. They're going to come out and take some shine.
Diddy's not dropping. Diddy's at Invest Fest with EYL.
I think Diddy drops before For All the Dogs drops. I think Diddy drops within the next month and a half.
I don't, possibly. I don't know. I don't know.
And
possibly.
I don't think that's enough time for All the Dogs to come out.
Because that's an R&B capsule I've been waiting for. Called that shit from a couple pods back. You understand? Niggas been wanting that Diddy album. You understand? Because he got major figures on that album. Brent, you said Brent was on it. I didn't even know that.
They had a list of artists scheduled to come out on that. But anyways, to end the For All the Dogs take, I think it's waited too long, and it's going to be a little tough for him. That album's got to be an A1 album for it to do what it's supposed to do.